And then you see things like this. This is another segue. God, I'm getting good at this. I sent you this.
Oh, yes. Good for her. My best wishes to the happy couple.
So, guys who aren't watching, Emma Watson, otherwise known as Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series, has announced she is self-partnered and clarifies what it means. And
If you have to explain the meaning of your relationship status, you've already lost. Like, you're off the deep end.
well, I'm grateful to Grok because Grok has since told me what self-partnered is, and that is a term popularized by Emma Watson, meaning being happily single. Wow, I stuffed that one up. And focusing on self-care, fulfillment, and personal growth. Like being in a committed relationship with yourself, it's about embracing independence without seeking a romantic partner. Otherwise known as a jaded, sad, lonely woman who needs to tell herself that she's happy, but as soon as she finds that man, she'll talk about how he's the love of her life and she'll fall into that trad wife lifestyle.
So this strikes me as contretemps.
Oh, no, I saw you looking. That was a cheat.
No, but
Contretemps.
I used it. And
did.
I think well enough in
Did you? I have
context.
to. What
So
does it mean
it's an
again?
unexpected event leading to embarrassment. Now the unexpected event is that she's literally come out with she's literally made up new words for a relationship status, and that has led to her own embarrassment.
How insufferable.
Just like, what's wrong with happily single?
Yeah.
Like if you want to be,
Or hang on, just signal.
Just
Far
single.
out.
Just
Where
single.
is that single?
But I mean, if, someone might be sick and tired of people assuming that they're not happy with being single.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm happily single. Okay, just leave me alone. I'm happily single. Sure, cool. But self-partnered.
Self-partnered.
No. You don't
It's
have a
just-
partner, and that's okay. You don't have to have a partner.
It's just
but
more
don't lie to yourself.
pathologizing for simple stuff. You know,
just-
I needed to pathologize this because it's so important that people know that I'm self-partnered.
I'm sick of language being abused. Yes, the English language is a bastard child of lots of other languages, and it is a living language. It does change over time. We can't lock it into place. I get that. But don't actively abuse language. We have
Not only that, stop inventing things.
Well,
You know,
there's that.
I was single for 12 years before I met G.
Yeah.
Was I happy? Yeah. Did I still want a romantic partner? Also, yes.
Yeah.
Was I willing to, date someone that I wasn't particularly interested in? Also, no.
Yeah.
So I would say I was happy and single, but still hoping to find that person.
Sure.
And gee, you took far too long, but that's okay.
And look, I can accept that there would be people who are single and happy and plan to stay single. I accept that person exists, and that's valid, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
That was never me. I always wanted to be in a relationship. I'm very glad I was able to find someone and get married and all of that. I'm really pleased. But I'm sure there are people who have a temperament and for whatever reason they are single, happily single, and plan to stay that way, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean that you're self-partnered.
Well,
a partner is
sounds quite
apart
narcissistic.
from you. Like
Yeah.
it's you cannot be partnered to yourself. There has to be another part. There has to be a second person in a partnership.
It just sounds like another sort of indulgent, narcissistic sort of.
I think that her agent said, "Hey, Emma, you haven't been in the news for a while. Are you willing to have a sex change?" No, that's a bit too far. Okay, what else can we do? And they came up with this.
Yeah. There's a lot of memes in the comments section too. I won't show them because some of them are quite mean, but I do love the internet for its ability to just be so quick and so witty.
Yeah.
But, like Hermione Granger's character in the Harry Potter series was quite insufferable. And I think there's a level of Emma Watson who's still tied to that character.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, she
that
played
was-
that character
was a
for like
decade or
12
something.
years or something,
Yeah.
a decade.
Yeah.
And so I think there's like a learned sort of insufferability
But
to her.
that's also, though, that is Hollywood. That is
Yep.
being a famous actor, a celebrity in the modern culture. I don't think she's an outlier in that regard.
No, but when you have to start saying things like self-partnered, I imagine being a Hollywood celebrity, it's very difficult to date someone. To find you need to find someone who just understands the lifestyle for sure.
You would either have to find someone who is willing to be the husband of Emma Watson, right? You're Emma Watson's husband, and that is your entire identity, and you'd have to be okay with that. A little bit like if you were Lewis Hamilton's wife,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're Lewis Hamilton's wife.
Yeah.
Okay, that's and everything about your life is tailored around his needs as an elite Formula One driver.
Yeah.
You know, Emma Watson's husband, everything about your life is going to be tailored around Emma Watson's needs as a world famous actress.
Do you remember these guys? This is probably above your pay grade.
You mean beneath me in the
Do you know
muck?
who this is? Do you know who this person is?
I need glasses and I can barely see that picture.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy.
Okay, sure.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Who's the dude?
Freddie Prinze Jr.
No.
All the women my age know exactly who that person is. So the reason
Good
I bring
for
this
you.
up.
I'm neither your age nor a woman.
No, come on. As if you didn't have a crush on Buffy.
No, I've never seen an episode.
She was like 90s, early 2000s, like it girl.
All the evil kids that were going to hell watched Buffy.
Did you see Sarah Michelle Gellar in Cruel Intentions?
I've never seen Cruel Intentions. The thing that is mind-blowing about this is that this still blows your mind. You
I
know
need a
this
moment.
about me.
I just...
You know this about me.
How do we exist in this same world together? You haven't seen Cruel Intentions.
No.
Jesus.
I have enough of them myself. I don't need to watch a tutorial.
Great movie. Anyway, these guys have been hitched for, I think, 22 years or something,
good
like a
on them.
long time. And
Yep.
like proper Hollywood power couple.
Yep.
And then you see someone like J-Lo who's on her fourth, but she's just divorced Ben Affleck, right?
Yep.
And can't find someone. I think there's a lot of this is playing into stereotypes like, oh,
Yeah.
can't find someone. I'm famous. It's so hard.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard. I think there's a level of you need to recognize there's a world that exists outside of you and your echo chamber and your ego. And if you can't have that level of humility, well, then guess what? You're not going to find someone that can.
I will say also, though, it would be very difficult for someone like that to actually find someone that wants to be with them, the human being, and not with them, the idea, the celebrity, I can accept that there would be an added layer
Of course.
of challenge.
Which is why they sort of date people of their ilk.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
If you're rich and famous, dating someone else who's already rich and famous kind of removes that possibility that actually they're just trying to use you to get rich and famous.
Yeah.
But also means that you are probably a highly dysfunctional person because usually you have to be dysfunctional to get that rich and that famous. And you're now marrying someone who is also likely to be highly dysfunctional, which is why we see the divorce
Yeah.
rate that we do.
Yeah. How did we get on? Oh, yeah, Hermione Granger. Anyway, boring. Who cares?
She's self-partnered. You should be happy for her, Carly.
Well, speaking of partners,
Yeah.
guys, you know exactly what we're
I
talking
should
about.
have known that you weren't going to get through an entire podcast.
To be fair, I didn't actually know about this. You sent it to me.
Listen,
and I have the evidence.
Let's not get into who sent what
No,
to whom.
I need you to understand this. I don't follow her. I don't look at her. I don't see her stuff. The only time I see it is when it gets to a point that news.com is making an article about her. That's when I usually see
Or
it.
when I send it to you for the express purpose of being able to point fingers at you during the oddcast and go, oh, again, Carly, can we just have a podcast without bringing up this woman?
Should I play a little bit?
Sure.
Worse, which I won't say.
All of you pieces of shit that won't listen to a woman because you call me hysterical, here is actually an adult man who will speak to you.
Well, what I'll tell you is, if you're going to be going out there trying to protest to keep this country, first of all, just think about that sentiment. You fucking moronic little piece of shit. You are the biggest fucking loser that's walked on this earth. You are an immigrant yourself, first and foremost. This is not our land. Which is very, it doesn't take a fucking genius to know that. But you're so far from that.
So he's throwing all this vitriol, but the category of person that he's throwing this at, what according to his words, is if you're going to go out there and protest to keep this country. To keep this country what? There's actually no object to his vitriol right now. It's like,
But this is all they have, insults. Let me.
but I just wanted to point that out, right?
Okay.
He's throwing this vitriol. He hasn't said to keep this country white or to keep this country Anglo-Saxon
Well,
or
to be
European
fair,
or anything.
There's only 2 brain cells between them, so don't be so hard
and
on
she's
them.
using both of them to keep her hand
Kind
on
of to
it.
be expected.
Needs a reminder.
To think that you're protesting against immigrants, that's not even what's going on here. This is flat out racism.
Okay.
And anyone that denies that, you're a fucking racist. You're a piece of shit. You belong in fucking jail or worse, which I won't say. But the main thing is you are all bigots. You're pieces of shit. You belong on the bottom of everybody's shoe. You're a stain on this fucking country. You shouldn't represent this country at all. Unfortunately, this country is rooted and upheld within racism, so it is very on brand. You're all scum.
Well, I'm
You
convinced.
need to do fucking better. There's Indigenous people that have been hurt after a bunch of fucking Nazi losers ran through a camp. How the fuck is that trying to reclaim Australia? I mean, you just all got fucking pea brains, tiny cocks, and dumb numbskulls. You fucking idiots. Don't procreate. Just die. You don't belong here.
Just die.
And they're not planning on having kids either, are they?
Well,
Is she one of the
because
ones
of
that's come out
climate
and said,
change. Yeah.
So
Because of climate change.
good. I'm glad he's taking his own advice. Look, that's unfortunately within the echo chamber.
Hang on, I'm just going to interrupt you, guys. If you don't think your other halves out there, look, Abby Chatfield found hers. So look,
Yeah,
they look
that's right.
they look like brother and sister.
They look ever so happy together. And maybe that's why they're not procreating. Who knows? We can start a rumor. That unfortunately is what qualifies on in some people's minds as like a great point well made. That was a tiny bit of, I mean, he did eventually define the people that he was talking about, right? The people who are anti-immigration. He did halfway through the video, after a string of insults, finally get to the point where he actually told us who he was talking about. But the complete us and them, that language as well is not designed to influence anyone. It's not designed to convince anyone of anything. And out comes Abby Chatfield with the straw man right up front. If you won't listen to a woman, right? There's this egotistical assumption that anyone who went to that march wouldn't listen to a woman, makes herself the center of attention even as she stands there with her hand up pointing at a dude. That everything about that is simply designed to gather an audience of people that already agree with you. It's red meat for the base. She's
100%.
just trying to get her cheer squad cheering. She's not trying to change anything. She's not trying to influence anyone. No one's mind is going to be changed. No one's going to be influenced. If anything, all she's actually doing is deepening the divide between the two sides because of the vitriol, literally saying, just die. Don't procreate. You're not Australian. You're a stain on the bottom of my shoe. Like, that's not the language of someone who wants to bring the country together or wants to make it a better place.
No, it's just more division. And an expletive-loaded address is not the way to convince people to your argument. And, like you said, it's just meat for the base. But look at the caliber of these people. These are people who go out and talk about having to have group sex in polyamorous relationships and going to sex clubs in Amsterdam. They love their drugs. They've always got ADHD. They're perpetual victims. Sex work is real work. Like, all of the talking points for the super progressive. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's what you believe? Well,
good for you.
I don't know if you understand this, but there are plenty of people on this planet who disagree with your lifestyle. So thank you for telling us that you are the arbiter of all truth.
Yeah.
And we need to listen to you, but politely go fuck yourself. Well, you've survived another episode and you're still here watching. So at this point, you should probably go and subscribe. And if you don't, you are going to be at the wrath of Spicy Carls. And whilst you're there, empty your pockets. There's a buy us a coffee button and we'd really appreciate it so that I can show up every day and just make Topher's life an absolute living hell. Much appreciated.